Happy birthday, Miss Lou. You have carried us on your shoulders for all these years, and we thank you for it. Happy 101st birthday.
Happy birthday, Miss Lou. It's been 101 years and we appreciate everything you've done for our culture.
Happy birthday, Miss Lou. You have inspired so many of us to even write our very own poems and to live in the soul and authenticity of Jamaica. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Miss Lou. We thank you for empowering us to wear our culture with such grace and pride, a yard and abroad.
101! Miss Lou, me love you for true. You motivate me. Truly an icon. Wow, good.
Can you believe it? Miss Lou, 101. Yes, it's a bonus day. It's Miss Lou's birthday. And so I know that everybody will be celebrating in their own special way. But a group of us got together and decided that we were going to celebrate Miss Lou through reflective tributes, and we will be performing and reading some of her work. We totally enjoyed the experience, and I hope that it will be just as enjoyable for you. But more than enjoyment, at the end of it, I hope that it will encourage you to reflect, to think about, to appreciate the way in which Miss Lou has helped to shape us as Jamaicans and has helped us to just be just so powerful, just so confident, just so in love with ourselves and our language and our culture and who we are. So sit back now and relax as we entertain you. We're going to kick things off with Ruth Hoshing doing Bun and Cheese.
Them boy they jeer Miss Matty. Them a macarona tease. Them a kill themselves with laugh and a call her bun and cheese. Them say from Good Friday morning, our job won't no get no ease. Morning, noon, night and bedtime, she and damn the bun and cheese. See breakfast, lunch and dinner, so bun and cheese. Child can't go to church and moving pictures if you please. She no count saltfish and ackee, cut her yipe and rice and peas. Here are. Me no put pot on fire when me got my bun and cheese. Well, Easter time when come and going, days and moments fly like breeze. But as long as Matty live, them boy going call her bun and cheese. Ay, ay, ay.
Me family is not pure. Me daughter Suda teach, and when rain fall or pass sick, me son Uriah preach. Sunday gone, rain comes till pastor couldn't let him yard. People was in a church, and so Uriah get wet rod. Him climb up on the pulpit, him lean over, him look down, him look on all our enemy and lash them with him tongue. Who swan him take on was Liz who tell the lie to me. Him stare in her face and say, "Thou art multi. Him say, "Thou art the rower Sam, thou art the meddlesome." And then him look at me and say, "Thou art the slaughtered lamb." Him take on Teacher Brown, for when he was the size of that, Teacher beat him one day because him called Teacher top notch. So Ryan get him revenge now, for him steer straight on Brown and say, "Let him that sitteth on the housetop not come down." Him take on Butcher Jones, who noted to sell scraps his meat. Him said, "Thou shalt not give thy neighbor full looks to eat." Him tell them off. Them know who them is. Them heart full to the brain, but Raya in a pulpit, them can't back answer it. So when church member mail me, don't answer till it reach. A rainy day when pastor stay home, and my son Uriah preach. Ay, ay, ay.
What a joyful news, Miss Matty. I feel like my heart going burst. Jamaica people colonizing England in reverse. By the hundred, by the thousand, from country and from town, by the shipload, by the plane load, Jamaica is England bound. Them a pour out of Jamaica, everybody future plan is to get a big time job and settle in the motherland. What an island, what a people, man and woman, old and young, just a pack them bag and baggage and turn history upside down. And I'm going to pause there because it is about the way in which Jamaica has, because of people like Miss Lou, been able to colonize not only England but all over the world in reverse. There is so much about us, we little but we tell our, and there is a way in which we are full of the soul of our ancestors, Miss Lou included, and so I celebrate her on this her 101st birthday.
Girl, run go watch the jester pot. Catch up the fire, Fred. Tell Lou to send some seasoning. Miss Marie turkey dead. The turkey woke up hearty and was strolling about the place till him and Kate, half-starving dog, just buck up face to face. Him stop. The dog jaw drop. Him lick him out and work it. Him make one roll back by my dive and pounce down pan the turkey. Miss Marie ball out. Save the turkey. Kill the dog. Poor soul. 2 men come out to help her. But by the time them reach, the turkey cool. Poor Marie, this a groan and sigh. And swear her heart stop beat. She take oath. So when the turkey cook, she wouldn't touch the meat. My mouth start sympathize with her. And tell her say she right. But my heart a say, thank God. Because for my belly, go bust tonight. So run go beg for 2 stale bread. Beg Jane some coconut oil. Talk loud. Make grudgeful Emmy know say, we are go eat in style. Them say, when horse dead, cow fat. And puss laugh when pear tree fall. So me go full my belly, while Miss Marie, she de ball. Ay, ay, ay.
You got BB? If you not got BB, you get the blue. BB means body beautiful. And a pants are them for sure. Some people wear this BB. Some know them not in a BB brand, but them in a big BB competition. The girl them put on pretty bad suit. Midriff all in one. Them put on pretty smile. And them go on as pretty as them can. Them walk the pretty walk in. While the boy them call the wolf call. The judge them judge. Them judging's done. And that is all and all. But when the boy then time come on, you see my fish show off who is who. It would have ring your heart. You see what the poor man them go through. Them muscle, whom them back to pose them pose. Them bulge their eye and tap them breath. And open up them nose. Them serious up them face like it's a case of life and death. Them neck drink teeth. The jaw one teeth. Them body shine with sweat. Them hard, them belly. Put it slap up in a them throat hole. Some favor bad cow, some racers, some favor lion ball. And while the poor boy them they sweat and time, while them they club themselves like fool, baby girl then they sit down, cool. So if anyone no one thing could not get BB, that's grand. Oh, what a part with the poor baby man. Ay, ay, ay.
101 not out. With the ups and downs of West Indian cricket these days, such a sustained showing is super significant. And I say not out for Louise Bennett Garden because her voice is as significant today as it was when it could be heard regularly on radio and television, in theatres and in hamlets across Jamaica. Miss Lou was omnipresent. She's a folk heroine. And Jamaicans love us a folk heroine. There have been scores of them in our history. whether or not our folk heroines or heroes are named hero or heroine on the books and receive an insignia, they remain in the hearts of the Jamaican people because of their deeds and what their legacies meant and continue to mean in the forming of the Jamaican persona. For me, Jamaican folk heroes or heroines are those men and women who speak up on our behalf. They are the folk within our society who come to our defense as Jamaicans and say the things to principalities and powers in the ways that we wish we could. Louise Bennett certainly did. Their words and stance are memorable and retainable, spoken in our language. They made enormous dents in the consciousness of our people. One major element of folk heroism was that everyone, like Louise Bennett, used elements of Jamaican culture. Our language, our music, our theatre, our dress to communicate our worth back to us, and we believed them. Our folk heroes are fearless, bold, and have the courage of their convictions, not for themselves, but on behalf of everyday Jamaicans. They are people out of our contemporary history, chosen by the people, not the system. And even those that are more notorious than pious, including a range of police officers known as protectors of the people, but whose methods have come to be questioned with good reason, are considered folk heroes. But as folk heroines go, Louise Bennett stood out as premier. Our Miss Lou was a heroine among folk heroines. Understanding this in present day is important because our generation continues to seek out voices to stand in our defense. It's also important because the generation that follows us has access to so many more voices on so many more platforms that it's important to create circumstances that help to filter and balance those often external influences. Miss Lou, in life and in death, provided one way to bridge that growing gap as she remains in the Jamaican consciousness across generations. Go to any festival, speech competition, or school concert, and there she is. Her influence is big and broad, permeating the lives of Jamaican men and women from the 1930s when she began to write, publish, and perform, through to the 21st century, when we still live within the reach of Miss Lou's voice. And for me, history is as important as the present. You see, we have so much history to share. Those of us who are privileged enough to share it must do so responsibly. Miss Lou knew that. She understood it. She knew that there is as much bias and division as there are messages of hope to tell in our history. And that's why in the process of telling our story, she was selfless, focused on development, understanding, and upliftment. So let's talk a little history and where and why we need to get to know more about Miss Lou, the woman. I always say that the history of a country's cultural industries and cultural economy is as important as the sector itself in present day. We can't understand why our cultural and creative practitioners behave as they do now without understanding how the creative sectors came to be. We need to understand the lives and struggles of some of our main cultural and creative players over time. For example, we say that one of the major issues that our cultural and creative industries face is mistrust. To solve that problem, we have to ask ourselves why. Where did that mistrust and second-guessing come from? We have to look back to those who have been fighting principalities and powers on our behalf, like Miss Lou, for those answers. She might argue that mistrust is ingrained in our very being. For example, she asks, how can we trust ourselves if you can't sing Linstead Market and water come a me eye? You have to tap sing all lang syne and coming through the ride. Miss Lou might have been asking, how can we engender trust when we don't trust ourselves and what we bring to the table? How can we trust ourselves when we have greater pride in that which comes from outside than what is our own? How can we engender trust where class, race, and economics remain at the center of inequalities that we see and face every day from before she was even born? Many of those answers to our questions lie in the histories of people like Miss Lou, beyond what she wrote, beyond what she performed or produced, but what she lived. Follow me. Earlier this year, I had to do some research into the life of Miss Lou's dear friend, actress and musician, Louise Kelly Barrow, on the occasion of her death, Louise Kelly Barrow Miller. The stories of their lives between the 1920s and present day explain so many of the contradictions in our country. Picture it with me. I love to visualize these times, and my greatest wish as a filmmaker is to recreate stories like that of Miss Lou and Miss Louise true to the era. But I digress. Both women were born in the period between emancipation and independence. The history we learn tells us about the ghastly conditions that existed for the majority of Jamaicans. Poverty was rife. Unemployment was a way of life. Exploitation and inequity were almost accepted as so by the majority of Jamaicans. Enslavement and apprenticeship were not a far memory, just 2 generations behind. Truth is, even today for many in the Caribbean, these themes remain realities in the conditions of everyday life. Decolonization, which is ridding ourselves of colonial rule and mindset, was the sentiment at the basis of these struggles. Within that picture, there was a group of Jamaican men and women, like Louise's and Lois's parents, and many of our great-grand and grandparents. They were intent on making new lives for their families and themselves. We need to know more about this cadre of Black Jamaicans and their efforts. Louise's parents were among them. So Miss Lou's story began like many Jamaican stories, in a modest home. She was born in Spanish Town in 2019 and lived with her mother. Her memories of childhood would have included the World Wars and the 1930s Caribbean-wide labor agitation. Her parents were entrepreneurs, a baker and a dressmaker, eking out an independent existence within a colonial reality. This was the Black middle class of early 20th century Jamaica. It's a wide band from traders and tradesmen and women to educated men and women, owners of businesses, civil servants and professionals. Well, if the working class was the backbone and the limbs of Jamaican society, this group of men, women and their families might well have been the organs. Theirs are the stories of Jamaican resilience that Louise knew, saw and respected. She received her education at institutions including Calabar and Excelsior that were designed to ensure that Black Jamaican children from modest families had opportunities for education. Her account in New Scholar, which Dahlia has asked me to share later, speaks about the anxieties and ambivalence associated with education in those times. She speaks of the phenomenon of the bad behaving picnic, another misunderstood phenomenon that continues to exist in our education system today. She would have gained awareness through the media, which played a significant role in reporting at the time. Newspaper entries in the Daily Telegraph carrying the colonial line, while the Daily Herald described with great emotional effect the circumstances within the colonized majority of the Jamaican people. By 1943, she was contributing poetry to the Sunday Gleaner. From the circumstances of colonial life, Louise Bennett was telling stories about the people she saw around her, the traditions she encountered, and the characters she met. Then she went to England to study in 1945, having received a scholarship from the British Council to attend the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art. It's another set of stories we need to be telling, the stories of those Jamaicans who were educated in times of empire. Louise Kelly Miller and my grandmother were amongst the scores of Jamaican sons and daughters whose worldview was formed and insights influenced by life as Black men and women living and being educated in the United Kingdom. Louise spoke of the Oxford book, the English verse, Chaucer, Burns, and Lady Grizzle, characters that must have emerged in her colonial curricula. But she inverted the focus from the imperial education in her poem, Banza Killing, asking the question that is at the center of her work. Why is it that as Jamaicans, we give more emphasis to those characters, those stories, that language than our own? It's a question we must continue to ask ourselves today. Here we are, struggling to give culture and the natural enterprises that emerge from it the respect, regard, and support that it requires, so that it can be central to shaping our economic project and our social realities and reform. Originality, we say, but Louise Bennett said it first. Louise Bennett's life upon her return home was multifaceted, much like the conceptualizer of this tribute, Dahlia Harris. She was involved in social development, advocacy, and outreach as part of the Norman Manley-led team that established the community development movement. That eventually became known as Jamaica Welfare Limited. Well, a story of that is that Norman Manley, Jamaica's premier and chief architect of the independence movement, had assembled a team of progressive thinkers, Tom Gervin, Reverend Edward Burke, and Louise Bennett, to interface with Jamaica's black masses in order to reduce social problems, including the rural-urban drift. In those re-engineering efforts, Manley sought to get the cash-rich United Fruit Company to give a penny for every bunch of bananas it bought towards rural development. That's what we call public-private partnership today. The fund, called Jamaica Welfare, was used to promote service cooperatives, set up a literacy program, start self-help housing, and many a process of building national pride and cultural identity. Are we seeing the lessons? As a part of this project, Louise Bennett traveled Jamaica's hills and vales. She taught, she empowered, she bolstered spirits. She reminded Jamaican people of the greatness within who they are. The salt of the earth characters she told stories became her stories. Miss Mary and our dry-foot boy, Nana and our kitchen, and everywhere a Mass Charlie. Mass Charlie. She successfully used that which existed within them to strengthen the people she met. There are so many lessons from those times we need to learn. Theatre became her life. The media became her life. Many of those stories you'll hear today. So, for me, it was her advocacy that moves me most. Louise Bennett's fearlessness, her eagerness to speak about matters concerning her people when it was largely unpopular, and in an environment where the institutions of society stood against the things she stood for. This was a woman who had become the conscience of Jamaican people. Her subsequent move to Canada was as political as her advocacy. Another set of stories that must one day be told in context. We have barely touched the surface, but now my appetite is whet. Dahlia, we must make those films and plays in her honor. And today is as good a day as any to start. All when we feel discouraged, ambivalent, and nervous, like Miss Lou's New Scholar and His Mother, a poem Dahlia asked me to share with you today. And you have to do it right. New Scholar by Louise Bennett. Good morning, teacher. How is you? My name is Sarah Poole. This is for my little boy, Michael, and me just bring him to school. Him born one rainy days, ma'am. It was coming on tonight. Ugly baby grow pretty for true, for this one was a sight. Him born the week when Rufus jackfruit tree did start to bear. Is that same month Obi pig dead, but me forgot the year. Me call him Mikey, Jakey, Jacob, Jack. But him right name is Michael Jacob Alexander Black. Not treat him rough, your teacher. Him is a sickly child. As you touch him hard, him make nice. Some people say him spoil. Take time with him, your teacher. If he rude and start to rave, this beat another boy and him will frighten and behave. For enough time when he rude a yard and won't hear me at all. I just beat the bedpost hard, ma. And you want to hear Jack Ball. Now that you know in little ways and not having no fear that anything we tell him, so I left him in your care. Aye, aye, aye. Thanks, Dahlia, for this opportunity. It's been my absolute pleasure.
Me darling love, me little dove, me dumpling, me gizzarda, me sweetie Sue. I goes for you like how fly goes for sugar. And I puts me pen to paper and me pen nib start to fly. Me remembrance remember the first day you catch me eye. You did just come off a tram car. A bus was to your right. A car sweeps past your left ears and you turn up stiff with fright. Your jaw drop. Your mouth open. Just like when jackass start yarn. Me heart go boogo boogo. And I know what make a barn. You, no scan me little letter. No laugh after me, yeah. Me learning not too grand. So what me can't spell, me withdraw. The thing in the corner, the freckles, is my heart. And the plate with yam and saltfish mean that we can never part. See how me draw the two face them that look for one another? Well, one is me and one is you. Take anyone you rather. It's not a cockroach foot this. It's a finger with a ring. And it mean me want to marry you. This line is piece of string. Take it put round the wedding finger and your wedding hand. Careful to get the right size. And then give it to this man. The man is me. No, sweet rice, keep swell till I see you next. Accept me young heart while I close. With love and Banza eggs.
One girl, your favorite Tegerick. How are you going to do? You and your boogie other friend them thinks and me afraid of you.
Where? Your favorite end panel. And me you want for trace?
Me's just the one for take my hand and leg in your face. See me hand, no giant church. And me now pay a license for me mouth. But we tell you about you. See ya girl, no bother get me out.
I don't know what kind of church for your mouth could have joined. You lift them end down like how when you can make up in mind.
Where? Me and you and a come below. Your foot them shapeless and long like Smaditan Farah. Fling them all make them hang on wrong.
Fear foot favor capital K. Cooper your two nose all. Them just big and open out like me staying outside fish bowl.
Where? You can't even boil soft egg. But yet still you want ring? No man not going to want marry you when you can't do a thing.
It's grudgeful. Me can't cook, but me been there go good school. Me got intelligence, you illiterated fool.
Me sorry for the man you get. The poor thing wouldn't yam when you hacky busting in saltfish and billions in yam.
So I'm trying to get the young, as a teacher, I'm trying to get the younger generation interested in Miss Lou and in her life and what she's about. But you know, just telling them about it is not going to get them interested. So I try to use current technology and what they are working with right now to get them interested. And I found an app called Kahoot that I've been using, and it gives them questions about Miss Lou, and they have to compete against each other to respond with their cell phones to answer these questions. And in doing so, it's exciting, it's engaging. Every time I do it to them, it gets them excited and they want to do more and they want to learn more and so on. So this is how I get them. And at the end of it all, because the app uses a style of teaching called Socrates method, which is they learn by questioning. You don't feed them the information, they learn from responding to the questions that you are giving. you know, at the end of it all, they usually learn a whole lot more about Miss Lou in a very fun and engaging way. In this app now, the game is entitled What You Know About Miss Lou. And we would go into the app, we'd go into the game, and so a code would come up on the screen, and they would put this code in their cell phones, and once they put the code in, then the game starts. That's an example of how the game works, and if you're a teacher, you can purchase an account and create your own questions for the students. And you know, on Miss Lou's birthday, I want to do the game. So anybody can contact me, and we just run the game online. It can be run online all over the world. Anybody can tune in and respond to the questions. And guess what? I'm going to give a special prize to anyone who gets the highest score in the game. All right?
Listen up. You did hear about how some big-time educated people did in our church hall the other day, and I carry one big argument about class and color in Jamaica. Yes, Mrs. My auntie Rochi said that she here said that educated gentleman them was a boss whole heap of big word about distinction and discrimination and preconceived notion and equality and superiority. All of them highfalutin sounding something there. But Auntie Rochi said that she wished she was there, for she would have boiled down the whole class to pat bottom with few ordinary words and make them know, say, ladies and gentlemen, sad I am to talk to you about class and color in Jamaica, because the real fact of the matter.
Say it again. Sad I am to talk about it. Go on again.
Sad I am to talk to you about class and color in Jamaica, because the real fact of the matter, when it comes to class and color in Jamaica, is that plenty people still judge them one another, class by the color of them skin. Sad but true. As somebody clap them yipe and a black smaddy them start class them as low class until them find out so that them get high education or them get big job or political backative or a big motor car. That's why plenty black smaddy who can afford big motor car depend the strain, them pocket for buy big motor car for themselves for class elevation. Oh yes, for plenty smaddy no respect no black smaddy at first sight, except perhaps a black person who got on him passing color that show him position. But if person not got on him color and him black, certain smaddy with low class him say except of course if him part straight or straightish and shine, and then of course him class might get a little elevation count time here. For plenty people that class other people by the quality of them here. Sad but true. The other day, one Jamaican woman ring up one Jamaican restaurant and complained that she couldn't eat the lunch what them sent to her office because she find hearing at the lunch. And when the restaurant lady tell her say she not to worry about it and beg her partner offer to pay back for the lunch since she never eat it, the woman get off of the phone. Of course I couldn't eat it. The thing that really hurt me is that the hearing of the food come off a nigger head. It was a piece of natty roll up nigger here. That's what the woman said. Sad but true. That sound like if it was a nice straight blonde hair she find in her food, she would have never say a word about it. Poopa take the case. And maybe if you ever was to go see the hair pan for your head, not a maca berber could have beat it. No got no respect for their own self. Last, I make it the other day when I go in one big office and ask one porter fella for the manager. The boy kin up his nose and cut him after me say, why you want the manager? Me not give you that information, Yama. Well, I haul up with dignity and said to him, you are perfectly right. I will ask somebody with good manners for the information. The boy cut him eye again. And same time the manager come through the door and greet me and invite me in his office. And the porter boy gave out loud to himself, kiss me grandpa, it look like she high. When I come back out of the manager office, the porter boy hedge up himself side of me and say, all right lady, I'm sorry.
When trouble take man, picnic boat fit him. And that is true. For what they may prove it with cousin Mary Auntie Picnic Sue. She come a yard pan a crying. Say she lose her job as nurse, she not have nowhere to sleep, her hunger 4 bit in her purse. Me take her in, buy some food kind and load one basket well. Fi carry her a street with me next day for learn her office step. Me start fi ball out. Pumpkin! Pear! Breadfruit! Ripe plantain going poo! Me have sweet potato! Hear the girl back at me. Me too. Me pause little and then call out. Ripe plantain going poo! Me have green banana! Hear the girl back at me. Me too. The first time me feel for laugh, but now me temper flame. Me say, girl, shut up your me too and call out the food them name. You think you're too high for call out? And another thing too. Think your people here the back of me a call out me too and I think me a sell you. You want to get me in a trouble? Like how me bad lucky. Mind you make police arrest me if you walk and sell smarty. Me see she start crying. Me say, girl, stop shed your tear. If I didn't know I saw yourself, I would have sell you for ripe pear. Master, she start crying, oh Sarah. Me just get vexed and ball, girl. Turn back, go back home, yeah? Don't follow me at all. She turned back and me go on my ways. Business wasn't so bad. When me catch home, me hear the girl a sing and a galang like she glad. Me turn up speechless, cause the girl basket stone empty. Me mouth drop down on ground when me see her tread bag full up of money. Here are. I ball out, ma. Though me don't like higgling, when trouble take man picnic boot fit him, so me sell off everything. Aye, aye, aye.
Oh, no, call my brother there. Beg you tell him come here quick. Tell him to bring him health your king coconut and him bust your open stick. Me nah make no joke with you, man. Quick and brisk pay me off. Or me call my brother and you make him beat you till you stop. You answer me advertisement. You come slap on me yard, come tell me how the pay is big and how the work not hard. I never like your face. But when my brother tell me say your husband is a nice man, me decide to come today. Oversleep this morning. Never wait till after 8. Is a taxi cab me take come here to hinder me from late. I know you want to start for a fool, but you don't want me. But what is this? Oh, call my brother for me. It now go so me sis. You will have to beg me pardon loud. Make all the neighbor hear. You will have to pay me 2 weeks' wages plus my taxi fare. Ah, so we're talking stupidness. Oh, no, call my brother there. Oh, you change your mind. Thank you. Goodbye. What did you say? You would have liked to know my brother. You can't help me with that. I would have liked to know it myself, or it's me one my parents got.
Hey, Miss Lou, how you do? May I give thanks for life and every blessing with a big or small. Boy, Miss Lou, I miss you bad. But me grateful for the remembrance then. Now, one in particular stand out strong. Me can't remember exactly when we did get the gift and blessing to work with you as your stage manager for the show like a theatre. After the Ghana foreign, proper foreign to Canada, you remember? You did come back to do, somebody did erase some tape and then they want to get some of the ring-dings niceness. One on them slow. Which bush tea them say good for memory? Rosemary, don't it? Now if you go drink some of the rosemary or talk to somebody to remember the exact date. But the blessings, Miss Lou, I get to work with you, draw a long bench with you. Remember how you used to see people and not see them through your eye work. You used to look on them. Make you sit down and talk to you, Miss Lou. And you make it come in like nobody else not in the world. Me say it all the time. You will never just teach me how to be a cultural agent or to be taller with the Jamaican language. You teach me how to be a good smaddy. You laugh, Miss Lou. It come from your belly bottom and it come all the way up and it come out and it bless me. You laugh, Miss Lou, you laugh. But your professionalism, you said to me, Fabian, me old and me tired. But me give me word, me give a commitment, me there, so me have to do what is necessary. Why, Miss Lou? You did see me backstage? You did see all of we young and not so young actor backstage when you and Miss Lights do the scene from Queen Daughter? Of course you never saw it because you did focus on your character. But Miss Lou, we can't pay for that. The timing, the comedy, the way you dip down in the English and dip down in the patois even nicer. When Miss Light talk about her clients and you talk about under their backs bed down a Bolo Lane. Miss Lou, I will never forget that. Them things you can't pay for. You and Miss Light span a stage, assure we when we are stand up, man. What a blessing. You remember me and you talk about the poor at house, didn't have the thing for you? And you tell me where meniscus come from. You say you did hurt up your foot. You go on Greek or German doctor and him say you have fractured your meniscus. But you say the meniscus never sound right on your tongue. So you say menticus and add it to your story then. Then you talk about some of the production and thing you go see. And you say, some did nice, but none of them was so bugu yagari. No, Miss Lou, me never hear nobody use bugu yaga and add eerie on the end. But you are the language mama. So you get, so me use it since you know, bugu yagari. And it just so nice. You remember when you did carry me back Garden Town to the house because you did forget something? And you give me like a quick tour. That house there, the full of light, and love, memory. Me feel like I was walking through a piece of Jamaica's history. Me feel like you and your husband energy was in the house and I was somehow part of that journey. Me still, me can't pay for that. Me can't pay for that. Me have one big regret, Miss Lou. Me wish we, Jamaica, they treat you the way you deserve to be treated. Like the royalty that you are. Me wish you never had was to move to foreign. Because you had everything you needed right here in Jamaica land where you love. Me wish that. But I give thanks for the journey. I give thanks for the blessings. Me give thanks for the difficulty. But oh, what a legacy you have left with us, Miss Lee. Nobody can change or take with that. As you would have said, and my granny would have said, what is for you cannot be unfor you. Louise Bennett Garden. Your name large. Your blessing them turn up strong power. The work what you do, we need to honor it. Because some people still shame a patois, you know. Still I talk about people talk about them rank and outer order. What them hear about? Good up, Jamaican language. You want Miss Lou? Them Cassidy fight now, you know. Language, writing and spelling structure for patois. But it needs to pass. It needs to be approved by the powers that be. I mean, I can't remember name, but somebody did say Spanish was going to be his second language. I had to respectfully send a tweet to the gentleman to say, dear sir, we already have a second language. It is to be English because Jamaican language our first language. Spanish can be with second language. Spanish would be with third language. Miss Lou, whichever part you're there, know some love you. Jamaica love you. We miss you. We can't talk to nobody else, but feel me love, have lion heart.
Sun a shine, but things not bright. Do a pot a boil, bickle none off. River flood, but water scarce, yeah. Rain a fall, but dirty tough. Things so bad that nowadays when you ask somebody how them do, them afraid you take it, tell them so them no answer you. No care how much we da work for. Hard time still in our shot. With a fight, hard time a beat we. They might raise we wages, but £1 gone we pay. We don't feel no merriment. For £10 gone we food and £10 gone we rent. Saltfish gone up, mackerel gone up, pork and beef gone up, and when rice and butter ready, them just go for a holiday. Cloth, boot, pin and needle gone up, ice, bread, taxes, water rate, kerosene, oil, gasoline gone up, and the pound devaluate. The price of bread gone up so high that we have to agree. We cut we eye pan bread and all ton dumpling refugee. And all them maga smaddy there, whether go on like fatty sin. All them there were fast with me. I left them to dumpling. Sun a shine and pot a boil. Things not right. People no enough. Rain a fall, river there flood. But water scarce and dirty tough.
So there you have it, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to close things off with one of my favorites. You'd have heard Deborah allude to it a little bit. Fabian spoke a little bit about it as well. It's Banza killing, and I'm going to do it because I know right now there's so much debate happening about our language. And Miss Lou did set it proper for we from a long time. So here we go. So you are the man when me hear about. You them say they take whole heap of English out so that you go and kill dialect. Let me get it straight, Mass Charlie. For me not quite understand. You go and kill all English dialect or just Jamaica one? If you're equal up with English language, then what make you going to feel inferior when it comes to dialect? If you can't sing Linstead Market and water come on me eye, you will have to tap sing all long sign and coming through the rye. The language where you're proud of, where you honor and respect. Poor Mas Charlie. You don't know so that it spring from dialect. That them start to try ton language from the 14th century. 500 years gone, and them got more dialect than we. You will have to kill the Lancashire, the Yorkshire, the Cockney, the Broad Scotch, and the Irish brogue before you start kill me. You will have to get the Oxford Book of English verse and tear out Chaucer, Lady Grisey, Burns, and plenty of Shakespeare. When you done kill wit and humor, when you kill variety, you will have to find a way to kill originality. And look here, man, oh, you don't read them English book there on your shelf. For if you drop a H, you might have to kill yourself.
Happy 101st birthday, Miss Lou. Thank you so much for all that you've done for our heritage and our culture. And we will continue to keep your flag flying high.
Happy birthday, Miss Lou. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this legacy that you have left behind. Thank you for everything that you did and all that you're continuing to do even in your passing. We love you and we're going to continue to do the work. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Miss Lou. Thank you for making us comfortable with our language. Thank you for making us comfortable and proud of our culture.
Happy birthday, Miss Lou. We thank you so much for all the work that you have done, the legacy that you have left behind, and the way that you have paved for us creatives. Happy 101.
Happy birthday, Miss Lou. Boy, I love you. I love what you have been doing for Jamaica, and I really hope that as a teacher, I can continue passing on all that you have done, Jamaica. to the younger generation, keep them more interested, continue to be interested, and want to know more about you using what they are using nowadays, their cell phone, the technology, the online stuff. Happy birthday, Miss Lou.
Happy birthday, Miss Lou. Thank you for sharing our culture, and we will keep it alive.
We thank you for everything that you have done for us, both locally and abroad.
Hi, girl, huh? Happy 101st birthday, Miss Lou. We love you.
Happy birthday, Miss Lou. 101. Can't done. Enough love. Fabian.
Happy birthday, Miss Lou. Thank you for all that you've done for our language and our culture. We love you.
Happy birthday, Miss Lou. Thank you so much for enriching, uplifting, sustaining, and preserving our culture. Listen, man. You see, because you walk good up you walk with you from a long time. Happy birthday. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And I have to especially thank all the people who turned out. The list is long. You're going to see it in the credits of actors, of academics, everyone who participated. I want to thank the JCDC for allowing us to use the Louise Bennett Garden Theatre. We couldn't go nowhere else, but some of us say, Miss Lou, that's why you hear the Ipa Yang Yang bike and all the sounds around us, because we were outdoors. But that's really where we wanted to be. Bless you, love you. Walk good now. Happy birthday, Miss Lou.